talk players to bench on the Cowboys report. It is time. The season is over. Whether or not this Cowboys team wants to admit it or not, they're cooked. It's not going to go the way that they want it to go. It's time to focus on 2025 and beyond. It is time to play the young guys. If you agree with that sentiment, and we'll break down some players in particular here in just a second, then I want you to like today's video. If you want to play, for the most part, the younger players where applicable, like the video for me right now. Let's get into the names. Number one, it's the quarterback. It's Cooper Rush, or I guess the backup quarterback, technically speaking. Look, it was bad. It was so much worse than I thought it was going to be against Philadelphia. I had made the comment, like, Rush isn't going to pee down his leg. He's not going to panic. Oh, he did. He was bad. He could not push the ball downfield at all. I hate myself. I'm a masochist, so I went back and watched it for some reason. The number of times that it sure felt like Cooper Rush was going from 1 to 4 in his reads is highly concerning. Like, he would go from read 1 to the check down immediately, and not like, or what I think is read 1 down to the check down. I don't think they're designing swing passes with nobody blocking on purpose. Like, just missing guys on the second and third progressions and just skipping over that altogether. He had his average completed air yard was 0.9. 0.9. That is less than a full yard. I've never seen it before in my entire life on that size of samples. Normally you get lucky and complete one 8-yard air pass. Didn't happen all game. There's simply not enough to justify playing Cooper Rush. So Cooper, just mellow out, take a breather, hop on the bench, cash them checks. If that's what you're going to get out of Cooper Rush, it doesn't make sense. There's no upside. There's no tangible benefits to playing the older guy who you know at this point is just not good enough. I would rather go to the mystery box. I'd rather see what the unknown is. And it might be bad too, but it might be more exciting. And there's actual upside there. So pick your quarterback. Who do you want to start for Week 11 and potentially beyond? This might be a weekly conversation here, frankly. TL for Trey Lance, CR for Cooper Rush. Let me know in the comments, it's a pinned comment actually, of today's show, TL or CR. Number 2, Jalen Brooks, the wide receiver. And another name I'll get to here in just a second. Again, this is going to come off as very negative. I apologize for it. I don't want to see any more Jalen Brooks snaps. I don't need to see 30-plus Jalen Brooks snaps per game to figure out what he is. He is at best your wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6. He's just not a NFL caliber receiver who you need to be giving playing time to. He doesn't create separation. He's not good in that area. He's not athletic enough to get open. He's not good in contested catches either. He's a 4 for 11 this year. So I have a bigger-ish, slow receiver who can sometimes block a little bit, is kind of inconsistent in that area, who helps me on special teams, but offers zero athletic upside. I don't need that on my team playing real snaps. Whenever Mingo's healthy, put him out there. Ryan Flournoy might be worse, put him out there. I don't know. I really don't understand why this team said, let's call up Jalen Cropper and give him 12 snaps. Outside of playing the young guys, cool, that's fine. Why weren't you giving more snaps to Flournoy? Why did he get 16? Why did Cropper get 12? Mostly in garbage time still. Doesn't make sense to me. And by the way, he isn't technically on this list because he's hurt right now. Do you need to be playing Brandon Cooks when he comes back? I don't think you do. In fact, I have a radical proposal I'll hit at some point in the future. I would strongly consider releasing Brandon Cooks and saying, hey, we will change some of your money into a base salary to get it more inclined that someone picks you up off of waivers. We'll guarantee that base salary and just move on. Because he doesn't help you. He's not going to be here next year. He's out of a contract. Go let him latch on somewhere else and save $1 million. It's not fair, but at this point, there's Like, I need to see my young guys play. And I'll let Brandon Cooks go find a contender somewhere. It's kind of like the baseball style waiver trade deadline thing. Like, that's, can't trade him obviously, but that's what I would strongly consider. Before we get to the next batch of players here, another little mellow out topic kind of in between. Because I don't really know what to do with the right side of the offensive line for the remainder of the season. Both Terrence Steele and Zach Martin. Terrence Steele, at this point, I kind of think he is who he is. He'll have some good reps. He'll be a good run blocker more often than not. But there's 2 to 3 and sometimes 4 or 5 pass protection games or reps where he just gets beat. The strip sack was one of them. And that's fine if I'm paying you the vet minimum and you're super cheap. But I'm paying you big money and you're getting beat consistently and I always have to worry about you. That's not fun. So I'm of two mindsets with Terrence Steele. Option 1, you can give him 8 prove-it games. Say, Terrence Steele, you got 8 games. Go put on some better film. Get better. Show some progress, which I think the last 3 games were better than the previous 2, but it's still not good enough overall. Or can I play Austin Bridges at right tackle? I thought he played pretty well with Guyton banged up. I guess you could put Guyton on the right side. I feel like that's probably a bad idea for Guyton to constantly flip him. But do you want to try someone else at right tackle? Because real chance you cut Terrence Steele, and then what's your right tackle spot look like? You're kind of dicey there. I also don't know if you can bench Zach Martin. Because in a bubble, I would like to see what TJ Bass can offer. I would like to see what he's able to do as a piece of this team. Can he be your right guard starter next year? Maybe. Maybe not. But can I bench the Hall of Fame guard? That's really tricky and might be one where you just kind of give him the send-off he deserves and allow him to play the rest of the season. It's not an easy conversation to have there. So would you best either of Terrence Steele or Zach Martin? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Number 3 is Ezekiel Elliott. This is not hard. The Zeke truthers are legion. They will never admit that they were wrong about the player. I think we've seen enough. This very much falls into the extreme version of kind of like the Brandon Cooks conversation. Why am I playing a veteran player who's not going to be on my roster next year? What benefits am I getting out of continuing to play Ezekiel Elliott where he's averaging 3.2 yards per carry? He's fumbling in the red zone. I'm not making him my pass protector because I've given that job already to Hunter Lipke, so why bother? You're not getting any benefits from this. Might as well play Deuce Vaughn. You might as well let Hunter Lipke get some carries in short yardage stuff. I think this goes for Dalvin Cook, who's not technically on the roster, so I didn't count it here. What are you gaining outside of Jerry gets to see one of his favorite sons out there? I'd rather see Hunter get real touches because he was involved in more than just pass protection, and then he hasn't really done it since then, which is super weird to me. Give me more Hunter. Hell, give Deuce Vaughn the actual real carry, even though your run game sucks. You don't get anything with Zeke right now. Now Jerry loves him. You got fringe Ring of Honor conversation here, so you're kind of in the less extreme version of the Zach Martin conversation, but I don't get any benefits by playing him. Sorry. Now, we will be here all season and especially off-season long since that's kind of already began here. Hit that sub button if you haven't already, youtube.com/CowboysTV. I'm cheating again because I got more than 5. Both safeties. I'm over it. I am few spots on this team have truly disappointed me the way the safety play has. Malik Hooker is not making any plays. He is consistently out there just looking a little bit disjointed, a little bit slow to react, not in good position. Donovan Wilson at one point has been one of your more impactful players in terms of making some splash plays. Both those guys have missed over 16% of their tackles. That's not good for safeties. You are the last line of defense. You're missing that many tackles. How does that happen? Both guys look just profoundly average at best. Wanye Thomas is in concussion protocol. I would like to see him get some playing time. Marquise Bell has not been the greatest player this year. He also has been put in some kind of weird spots, all things considered. He got 3 snaps. Made a tackle on one of them, by the way. Okay. Thomas has been banged up. Like, for whatever reason, this Cowboys team is just like only playing Donovan Wilson and only playing Malik Hooker at safety, outside of a handful of exceptions. And I just don't understand it. Like, for the defense in general, you keep playing the same guys that are causing issues and then acting surprised when nothing changes. Doesn't make sense to me. Pick 2 to play. MH for Malik Hooker. MB for Marquise Bell. DW for Donovan Wilson. JT for Wanye Thomas. You can play 2 safeties, obviously. Pick 2 to play. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Number 5, Caelen Carson. And this is the exception to benching the players to play younger options. It's been bad for Caelen Carson. And I think you're at the point where letting him sit down and adjust and learn a little bit is probably a good idea. He played pretty well against the Browns, and it's been bad since then. He has consistently gotten cooked every chance. They benched him. They did do this already, so I'm kind of cheating and putting him on here. They benched him in favor of Israel Mukwamu because Caelen Carson was targeted 7 times, allowed 5 catches for 108 yards. The rest of the Cowboys defense combined allowed 207. So, or combined allowed 100 or under 101, 207 combined on the PFF side. That's putrid. So let's play Izzy. He tends to make some decent plays happen. This team is using him more as a nickel. Try him on the outside. Give him a chance to play. He's a free agent. See if you want to bring him back next year as a depth piece. You'll keep Caelen Carson. He needs more time to grow. Pretty clearly, he's just not ready for life in the NFL yet. Let's see if Izzy can hold up.